everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Well, it is a brand new year, so we are back on track with Try It Out Tuesday, and today we are trying out a stamp set from Reverse Confetti. This is the first stamp set that I purchased from Reverse Confetti, and I thought the heart, this is called the Heart Spots. I did pick up the coordinating dies, but I thought it'd make a cute little Valentine's Day card. So this month for my Try It Out Tuesdays, we're going to make some fun Valentine's Day cards, and we're going to start it off with this set here. I love the little cheetahs or the little leopards in here. Those spots are actually tiny little hearts, which are so cute. I'm stamping them with Memento ink on some Nina Desert Storm craft cardstock. We're going to clean off our stamps, and then I'm going to bring in some white cardstock, and we're going to stamp some more images, but this time on white. I thought the cheetahs would look good on the craft cardstock because I want them to really stand out on the front of my card. This cardstock here is Nina Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock, great for alcohol markers or Copic coloring. There's a little heart flower in there, a little bird, and a rock, and then a trio of hearts. We're going to stamp all of those with the same ink. And then we are going to do some coloring. I'm going to color with my Copic markers. While I color, I will play a little bit of music for you. And then I did list the caps out. You can see here I'm stamping a couple more flowers. But I did lift the caps out for you guys, and I listed the cap numbers on the left or right side of the screen here. So I'm going to zoom in, play a little music while I color, and I will get you back. Okay, coloring was all done and pretty easy. So I did pick up the coordinating dies, and so I'm going to die cut out each one of my images. And the coloring on the little cheetahs was super easy. I did leave most of the craft cardstock showing, but highlighted it with my my yellows, and I love the way this turned out. Super fun. Now you can see I did die cut out, just using the dies, some craft cardstock. So I have basically a silhouette of all the images but one of the cheetahs. The cheetahs that is facing the left, I didn't need to die cut out. And so since we are making a shaker card, I wanted to back my shaker window up with a clean look. So this is going to help when I use those die cut pieces of craft cardstock. Okay, now for my card, I'm going to die cut out a panel. We're also going to be using some Gina K masking magic to create a mask. We're going to trim this down to a card front size, just using the paper trimmer. So it will be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then on my other white cardstock, we are going to die cut out that in a panel size that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, just using a stitched rectangle die. In the masking magic paper, I'm going to use a circle die and cut out a window, slightly large window, but that's okay. A little bit more towards the top. I'll just tape this down and run everything through my die cut machine. So there's my masking paper and there's my panel. Next, I'm taking my card base. I'm going to open it up so I have the front of my card base, and I'm going to lightly tack down my panel, making sure it's centered on the front of my card base. We're going to die cut out a window in both of the card front and our front panel. I'm using one size smaller die, and I can use my mask as kind of a guide to where to place my circle. I'll just run both of these together through my die cut machine, and then everything is lined up beautifully. Okay, we are ready to go. I'm not going to create anything with the front panel just yet. What we're going to do is remove the release paper off of our masking paper, and when we're going to adhere this to the inside of our card base, just lining it up from corner to corner. Now I wanted to do a little bit of shading using a stencil. So this stencil is from LDRS Creative, and it's called the Plaid stencil. Love the stencil. Since it is a little bit intricate, I am going to use some PIXIE spray on the reverse side. It just helps placing your stencil on your project. It tacks down really well. And then we're going to bring in two different Distress Oxide inks. I'm trying to go for a color that's almost the same color as the bird that we colored in with the greens and the blues. So I started off with Twisted Citron, and then around the edges I'm bringing in Cracked Pistachio, and then using my Twisted Citron blending tool, just blending them both together, just so there's a double shade there. So I removed my stencil. Now we're going to remove the mask, and we have a real fun plaid circle on the inside of our card that's lined up with our window. So when we close the window, we have that plaid background. And then there's still enough room on the top and bottom for a message. Okay, next we are going to add a little bit of glue around. This is our card front. I'm adding glue, and then I'm going to add a piece of acetate directly to the card front. I'm just making sure the acetate is smaller than my card front so you can't see it on the edges. Since my front panel does leave a little bit of a border, you don't want that acetate to show through. Okay, we're going to make a double shaker window. So that's why I'm using two pieces of acetate. I put one on my card for the reverse side of my window, and then one on the front for my window, which is my front panel here. I'm just using my glue to secure it. And the glue oozed out a little bit. I'm going to use my stamp chamois to clean that up a bit. Okay, before we add foam adhesive on the reverse side, I'm going to line it up, and then we're going to place our images first. We're going to start off with the rock. Nice place to start. I'm going to add a foam square behind it, and this is going to go on the bottom of the circle a little bit towards the right. And then we're going to add the cheetah that's not sitting, but the one that's standing. And again, I didn't die cut out the silhouette of the one that's sitting down. Just going to do a little tucking behind that rock. Lovely. And then we're going to take our little heart trio. We're going to add that with a very small foam square. And then we're going to take our sitting cheetah here, and I'm going to use my tape runner, and I'm going to kind of line it up on the front and then open up my card front, and I want it to look like it's sitting on the rock, but I'm going to place it on the inside of my window. So I'm just tacking that down. Then for our little bird, I'm going to pop up with a small piece of foam adhesive, place him next to the sitting cheetah on the rock. And then we have our two little flowers left. We're going to add foam adhesive behind them, and then add them to the rock area here. I think that looks so cute. We'll add our second one. And after I did this, I should have stamped my sentiment here before I added foam adhesive, but no worries. For my little last heart flower, I wanted it to be like a surprise when you open it up. So I'm trying to find a good spot. As I'm placing it, I'm looking at my window, and we're going to lower it just a little bit so it's peeking behind that. Actually, not the rock, the cheetah there. Okay, I think that's going to work out great. Next, I'm going to add a foam adhesive to the top and the bottom. And again, I should have stamped my sentiment before I did this, but no worries. Before I add the rest of my foam adhesive, we're going to add the silhouettes that we used with the dies and place them on the reverse side of our shaker window. This way, when you open it up, it doesn't have that Copic coloring that bled through the paper look. It just gives it a little clean look. Now you could use craft cardstock, or you could use white. I think either or would work out perfect. And I didn't need the little the flowers. Okay, we're going to add the rest of our foam adhesive. And you see those foam adhesive that I added to the craft cardstock, the silhouettes there? Don't do that. Remove it because it did affect my shaker window and I ended up having to remove those 3 little pieces. Okay, we're going to add some clear sequins directly to our card front. Kind of spreading them out. I'm only using 1 layer of foam adhesive. So I spread them out and then I'm going to line up. Here's where I had to take away those pieces of foam tape. That wasn't a good idea. But there's my see-through shaker window and I think it looks so fun and lovely. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. And for my sentiment, I debated on using red ink or my black ink, so I opted for my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. We're going to stamp that just below the cheetah. And the sentiment says you hold a spot in my heart, which I think is so cute. And then on the inside, I thought I would stamp another sentiment just behind the rock that says, I love us. And I'm going to use that same ink. So the flower and the sentiment are little extra little surprises. I'm going to add a little bit of dimension to my hearts and to the cheetah nose that's on the front of my card with my Nuvo glitter or Nuvo crystal drops in Morning Dew. It's like a glossy accents. But that is my project for today. And here's my cleanup. I'm going to play a little bit of music while I clean up, and then I will catch you back for my next Try It Out Tuesday. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.